We often show difficult to watch footage on this show. In this case, especially because I know some people are super sensitive to violence against animals, I want to provide a huge warning for you that the video we're about to show you is of a cop brutalizing a dog. It was caught on a Ring camera, and we want to talk to you a little bit about this. So here, unfortunately, is that footage. So that really cool guy, that hero, that public servant there that tried to kick a dog to death. By the way, the one thing missing from the video because of his swearing, it had to be bleeped out, was him yelling at a dog, "I'll kick your effing A, you stupid effing dog." He was doing it at the time, and dogs can't speak. So it seems kind of needless for him to like boast about how he was going to kill this dog with his foot. But anyway, that footage was posted by Haley Richey, the homeowner of the home. It says, yesterday evening while my family and I were at work, someone broke into my home. My dogs ran the intruder off. This was the response shortly after a neighbor called. My home needed help and all it received was hurt, #animal cruelty. And said later on, I shared for awareness. I have no hate, but all pain for what occurred. I can't wrap my head around how easy it was to approach my dogs the way they were. I have no hate, but pain for the individual. How are others, not just pets, being treated in our community? Well, probably similarly, because I think the same sorts of cops that could run up on a dog and do that probably doesn't feel all that bad about what they do to humans either, Viviana. But what do you think?
Oh, John, it's just horrible to watch. And you know that they treat humans the same and worse. We're lucky he didn't shoot the dog, I guess. Is the dog okay? I don't even know. The poor dog's yelps and cries. And how sad. This dog was protecting its house. It's just horrific.
Yeah, now look, they are going to try. So the cops initially put out a statement saying many of us have our own animals and would no more want to see them hurt than our own children. So they're like taking it super seriously, whatever. But then they try to say that the cop was responding to the area not because of a robbery like the homeowner says, but because dogs were running around and potentially attacking people. So they released body cam footage, and the body cam footage does show dogs potentially running around. I want to show you this body cam footage because they released it because they believe it proves their point that what the cop did was apparently fine and necessary. So we're going to show you this footage, and I want you to decide if the context we just added makes what he did and said any more reasonable.
Immediately no.
You want bite? You want bite?
So he's walking around, there are dogs, and he runs up on a dog and starts trying to kick it as hard and as fast as he can while shouting that he'll kick the dog's effing A. Okay, if you're the Terre Haute Police Department, as they are, and you believe that that makes everything better, okay, we'll see how that goes for you. I personally don't think that makes it much better at all. What do you think?
There was a case where a cop killed a dog, shot a dog, and nothing happened to them, I mean, they're killing humans and nothing's happening to them. So, I mean, this is the lack of empathy, the lack of care and concern is really, plus your job is not to handle dogs, call animal control. You see loose dogs, call animal control. They come and catch the dog, they take them to the shelter and hopefully their owners come and collect them. If there was such an issue that you couldn't get to the door because there was a dog there, and obviously it was a small dog because he's not doing that to a Rottweiler, you better believe it. That was gonna be some small little guy, probably like 30 pounds or something, getting worked by this guy's big old boot. It's just horrible.
Why not? Yeah, why not call animal control? I have a feeling they could probably, first of all, they know how to deal with it. And presumably they would do it not by trying to kill the dog.
And the dog wasn't attacking him. It seemed like he was cornering the dog on the dog's porch.
And apparently was at his, from what the homeowner is saying, and again, with these sorts of stories, immediately we have to go by what these different groups are saying. We don't know for sure, but the homeowner is saying that was my dog in front of my house, and a cop ran up and began beating the dog. Maybe we'll find out. We'll see if the police department ends up.
You know what? Dogs get let out and they get loose and they run around sometimes, and that doesn't mean you just go and kick them. And in fact, there are laws against animal abuse, and that's exactly what that was. And in fact, before there were child abuse laws, there were animal abuse laws that were actually used in place to protect children, because that was the first laws that we had. So these laws have been enacted for a long time. You can't abuse animals. You can't dismember animals. You can't. This is what this guy's doing. He could have killed this dog. We don't even know if this dog's okay.
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, as of at least right now, the updates don't have any information about whether the dog survived that attack or what condition it would be in. I would imagine rough condition. You can't do that to dogs and then they just bounce back. That's not how that works.
There was a lot of venom he had. He was very angry, that man. That guy's dangerous. I don't think all cops are
like this.
Yeah, we do. We find people who are angry, control freak, psychopath, narcissists, and we give them guns and badges. And I think we need to figure out, how do we start bringing people in for law enforcement? Because I think the police situation we have now is not working. They are killing people. They are hurting people. They are biased. We need to figure out another method. And this isn't it. This is just another example of, we are really attracting the wrong people to that position.
Yeah, and by the way, not everyone is like that in the police. We shouldn't have to say that, but we'll say it again. But if you are not, it is on you to stand up against those who are.
Yeah, there was a guy behind him.
It should bother you. Wait, exactly. And we were gonna go into this next story about this individual in a wheelchair being shot multiple times. There was another cop there, didn't react at all, as if anything wrong had happened. If you're a cop, it should bother you so much that people like this wear the uniform and make you look like a crazy psychopath by the affiliation with them. And yet most of these cops don't seem to have a problem with it.
They did,
man. Thankfully, that guy has been fired. Do you generally just lose your job when you murder someone? That's not usually what happens.
The victim is still dead.
Exactly.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.